Hello there, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Ideal World. Today we team up with Planet Cruise and a whole slew of wonderful cruise lines. We're going to be talking about your next holiday, or perhaps something from your bucket list, a dream holiday, a dream vacation. But all of these are at sea. Now, we're only able to bring you these sorts of deals because we do team up with Planet Cruise, who are considered to be one of the #1 agents with many of these cruise lines. I'm not your expert today. I did spend 18 years on cruise ships myself. I worked as cruise director, head of entertainment, but I'm very glad to tell you that our expert also spent many, many years with P&O, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I did 6 years of P&O, and yeah, it's great to be here as well. I mean, first of all, before we go into P&O and my background, Planet Cruise, what a place to work for. The great thing about Planet Cruise, as you mentioned, they're award-winning, but they get 96% customer feedback. I mean, 96. In this modern day and age, with the internet the way it is, that is fantastic. So, you know, you really have got confidence. Also, one of the things about Planet Cruise is all of the people that you speak to on the end of the phone are either cruise specialists or have worked at sea.
So they all know what it's like to be on a ship and enjoy the cruise lines.
Exactly, and it's cruise specific. So a lot of the ports they've probably actually visited before. There's a lot of the ports that I actually looked at throughout today's show that I've been as well, and I was just like, oh, what great memories to go back to.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the itineraries. Now, it's really easy to follow us. You can obviously watch us on TV, but you can go to the website too if you wish to, planetcruise.co.uk/TV, and that'll take you through to the TV deals. You've also got the opportunity to get in touch with them on Facebook, there's Twitter, and they've got a YouTube channel as well. But it's really easy to find the deals on the planetcruise.co.uk website. Now, let's get started. P&O is where it was home for you for 6 years.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about P&O themselves?
It's just classic British cruising. They've got great ships, and, you know, the staff are so friendly. They remember your names. It's frightening. You go back year on year and you think, oh, crack, I can't remember your name. But it's just a really personal touch.
Well, we're going to go through a video clip right now. And one of our regular guests here is Keith. He actually went on board the ship, so you can have a look around. Watch this.
At just 77,000 tonnes, P&O Cruises Oceania may not be the biggest in the fleet, but she certainly packs a mighty punch. Fresh from her recent refitting, she was extensively and expensively refurbished and looks absolutely beautiful. Oh. You know, as a proud Englishman, the centre of my universe has always been my local pub. And on P&O, you really won't go wrong by visiting this beautiful yacht and compass nautically themed pub, which serves up a healthy selection of Britain's best. On top of that, you can really live the high life on this ship with the bubbles of the Magnum champagne bar, or dancing into the wee hours in the chic Le Club. Whether you choose the more traditional fixed dining of the Adriatic or the freedom dining of the Ligurian, both restaurants serve up consistently delicious food from an ever-smiling army of knowledgeable waiters. For those who prefer their dining al fresco, then why not try a super tender steak at the Horizon Grill on Deck 14? You guarantee great taste and even better views. Or pop along and let Marco Pierre White dazzle your taste buds at Café Jardin. Friendly and interactive, as well as diverse, Oceania offers many entertainment options, from the high-rolling fun of the Monte Carlo Club to the cabaret and comedy of Starlights. You can pop along to the atrium for a classical recital, or head here for a pint and watch your favourite team in the Winners Sports Bar. And then, after a great meal, go to the Footlights Theatre, where you'll be hard-pressed to believe that you're not actually sitting in the West End. Stylish and inviting, Oceania's cabins come in all shapes and sizes, from spacious and fully equipped suites like this, offering a host of extra special touches, to mini suites, balcony cabins and standard inside or outside cabins. But all come with a host of mod cons and a daily steward service, plus the all-important tea and coffee making facilities. Because if you're like me, you can't even face the rest of the world without at least one cup of coffee.
So now you know what you can expect on board a P&O ship. We're going to take you through the itinerary. I want to add one little note here. We're going to be talking about a 7-day cruise. If you want to double that, if you want to do 2 cruises back to back, there is an amazing offer. In fact, I can't believe this, 14 nights from £699. So you'll just add on, and you'll do 2 cruises back to back. So do you want to tell us where we're going to be going?
Well, first of all, you fly out to Venice, and remember, if you want to have an overnight in Venice before, you can ask the Planet Cruise team when you speak to them. I mean, look at the gondolas. We are talking an amazing city, the city of bridges, and of course the bride of the Adriatic. You can see St Mark's Square there. There's the Bridge of Sighs as well, and the Rialto Bridge you've got to go to see. One place that I can highly recommend is the Hotel Daniele, just on the banks next to the Grand Canal.
Yeah.
They do the best bellinis. If you really want an experience, you will pay for it, but it's well worth it.
So when in Italy, do as the Romans.
Oh,
right?
definitely. The sail away from Venice, if you've never sailed away from Venice before, it is one of the romantic experiences you'll ever likely have. Get a bottle of bubbly, go up on deck, enjoy it, really soak it in.
Can you imagine? You're paying, what, it's less than £65 per person per night to enjoy views like this. It is a phenomenal deal. Of course, that includes your entertainment and all your food. Come on, let's carry on with this incredible journey.
Well, you're going to be going on then to a relaxing day at sea. Now, Oceania actually had an extensive refit. I actually launched this ship back in 2001. An amazing ship. Once you've done your relaxing day at sea, got used to all of the facilities on board, then we're on to Montenegro. And this, well, I mean, you can see the pictures there. Wow. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
It is just superb. The actual Old Town is part of UNESCO World Heritage Site, so if you do like history, that's going to be perfect for you. There's an amazing maritime museum as well. They've got some lovely little models in there. And if you do like a little bit of history as well, then you've got St Tryphon's Cathedral as well. So really great historical town. Now, from Montenegro, we're going to be going to Corfu, and if cuisine is your thing, you've got to try out the local cuisine. If you like white wine, lemon juice, garlic and vinegar, and seafood, then you've got to try it. It's a delicacy, and also fish soup as well is really popular around here. Great beaches, as you can see. I mean, you know, the Mediterranean is fantastic, but this is borderline crystal Caribbean waters, as you can see there. And again, rich with history. Now, following on from Corfu, you're going to be having another relaxing day at sea. And this is nice because it breaks it up. You have two big ports, nice relaxing day at sea.
Yeah.
This, though, is the biggie, because you're going into Civitavecchia, which is the port for Rome.
Yeah.
Now, which way you want to get to Rome, whether it's one of the tours or yourself, you've got the Trevi Fountain there, you've got to toss a coin into it. You've got fantastic, actually, the real local cheap restaurants around the Trevi Fountain are some of the best, actually. Of course, you've got the Sistine Chapel, the Vatican City as well, and the Colosseum. Gladiatorial architecture. It really is an amazing city, and the fact that you're going then back to amazing ship at the end of it is just brilliant. But for me, it's the last port of call that really is the highlight.
You love Monte Carlo.
Yeah, if you hit it between the 21st and the 24th of May, it's going to be Grand Prix. You can't go to Monte Carlo without talking cars. It's an amazing principality, and when you think about the rich history there, you've got the casino. If you like car spotting, go there. Café de Paris as well. Yeah. Go there for a light lunch. It will be expensive, but it's one of those things that's got to be on your tick list. It's the bucket list. You've got to go to Café Paris and experience that there. Also, from Monte Carlo, there's loads of little places that you can go to with public transport. The last time I actually stayed there, there's a little place called Villefranche just up the coast.
Yeah, I know it, yeah.
And Nice is not that far away
you can jump
as well.
on a train to get down there very easily.
Exactly, so it's really accessible. So if you do like exploring, you can do. If not, just stay in the actual town itself. Finishing off in Genoa. And of course, you know, fantastic for its cake. Of course, you know, can't escape that. But of course, this is the port that you're going to be flying back from. Now, as we mentioned earlier on, we've got this fantastic offer that if you want to go back to back, you can do and extend what you've done there, but double it by 14 nights. Yeah,
let me just overview this. You can get this cruise, a 7-night cruise, from £449. If you want to do 2, and you go and do the itinerary, it's not actually backwards, it's a different kind of route, but it's the same sort of ports, from £699. This is less than £65 per person per night. What sort of hotel do you get in the UK for £65? And of course, bear in mind, this is including your food and it's including your entertainment. Return flights on this one, not just from London, but Manchester too. If you did want to get other airports, talk to the team. The phone number's at the bottom of the screen. They can organise that for you. Huge savings on this. We're talking from £350 per person per night off of that, not per night, £350 per person off of the brochure price. It really is a great deal. And that last night lets you know, that last line there lets you know you can do the 14 nights from $6.99, deposit only. 0800 781 5484. Don't miss out on this deal. Now, you can see some of the dates are already selling out. Some of them are already selling out. Go and call the team, 0800 781 5458. You might want to write that number down right now. Now, you might want to pre-register for some of the other cruises. If we don't mention a cruise that you're after, if you don't hear us talking about a specific date you want, when it comes to P&O, you can pre-register. So again, talk to the team. Now, this is some of the nice things about pre-registering. A 5% discount for past passengers. Free onboard spend. You know, you can get $75 to spend on board for free. Sometimes it's a lot more than that. You'll hear me talking about some of the deals later in the show. Free Wi-Fi on sailings over 7 days, and 2016 departures on sale from next week. So call up the team if you'd like to pre-register with P&O. That's the first of our 6 cruises that we're going to spend our time talking about. Let's move on to the next one, which is a great line. It's one of my favourites. I proposed to my wife Helen on Princess Cruises.
There you go. It's memories for you, but memories for the people at home as well, because this is an epic ship. This is a grand class ship, and Princess, of course, the American side of P&O, just superb again.
Well,
great food, great entertainment.
Let's take a moment to look at the lines so we get some idea of what you can enjoy from Caribbean Princess.
Now, as I mentioned to you, Grand Class ship, you can see it is just iconic straight away. It's a larger ship, but the great thing is there's so many places to go on board. I mean, with this, you've got 3 main dining rooms, with 2 of them, which has got anytime dining. So if you don't like the sort of the formality of dining, then you can have a lot of flexibility. There's meals and snacks on board. All of the staterooms are en suite. You've got 24-hour complimentary room service. And then, of course, you've got the gymnasium. You've got the golf potting course and simulator. You've got sports course and plenty for the family to do as well. One of Princess's unique features, of course, is the movies Under the Stars. So when it's a great night, you can go and watch, you know, an up-to-date film, but underneath the stars. And it really is a truly amazing experience. I mean, you can see the lounges that are out there. Larger ship, more space. Great entertainment again, and you know, it's all up to you. If you want to have a nice early night, then of course you can slip off back to your cabin, or if you want to stay up late, then you can hit the casino or perhaps the nightclub.
I think that's an important thing to share with viewers. You know, when you're on a cruise, you might think, oh, there's all these activities, I have to do this, I have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You can literally chill out and do nothing. If you wanted to, you can stay in your cabin. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can find a little hideaway. You know, you could go play cards, you could go into the library, you can really chill out where you want to. This cruise has been a bestseller in the past. It really is all about savings. We're talking £420 off per person. Now, they'd already taken the price down to $749. It's dropped again. It has dropped again. This is from £599. That's £86 per person per night. It can be deposit only. And if you're going on the 11th of July trip, you're going to get $75 on board spend. These are great prices for these dates. Please bear that in mind. Now, it's one of my favourite itineraries. I absolutely love the Fjords. I think sometimes people think it's going to be cold, but it is summer.
It's amazing. You've got that crispness, and especially like today, everybody's talking about air pollution. Crikey, you go to Norway, and it is so fresh. You cannot believe how fresh it really is.
Well, come on, let's get on that itinerary. Let's see where we're going.
The first port of call, Stavanger. This is an absolute classic. It's called the Cradle of the Vikings. So if you really do want Celtic history, then this is going to be perfect. Brilliant for outdoor activities like mountain biking, hiking, so plenty of tours on offer. From Stavanger, you go on to Skolden, and again, this actually has one of the oldest churches, one of the oldest stave churches.
Wow.
If you do like your crafts, then you'll appreciate the actual wooden construction of it and the actual carpentry. Again, it's another UNESCO World Heritage Site dating back to the 12th and the 13th century, so you can see there, that's what we're talking about, real history. Now, from Skolden onto one of my favourite ports, I absolutely love this, was Olden. One of my greatest memories of actually being on the ships, apart from, I mean, look at that, just endless views. The actual mountains that you've got, the actual the waterfalls, and again, it is so crisp. One thing you've got to do, though, is see a glacier. There's the Briksdale Glacier, which you can actually climb. Wow. Now, don't think that you're going to have to be some sort of, you know, Bear Grylls. You're not going to be climbing up there with ice axes. You get all the equipment, and it's just a great day out. So
I've actually been lucky enough to do it when I was working on the ships, and it is a phenomenal experience.
You've got to do it. If you're brave enough, they'll actually allow you to sort of hang over the edge. There's 6 people tied to you, mind. So, but yeah, great experience and great memories. From Oldham on to Bergen. Now, this is a fantastic port for those of you that love your towns. Great fish market, really colourful, and when you see the buildings on the actual shoreline of the harbour, it's just so pretty. I mean, you can see here those beautiful colours. Now, there's a great little restaurant. I don't know if it's still there, but it's a bowler hat. I think it's called Egon. One of the things that I remember, you go in there and the actual staff, they'll pick up what nationality you are, and they've got all of the menus already there for you. So if you go and speak in English, you get an English menu. If you go in there speaking German, you get a German menu. And that just gives you some sort of an idea of the customer service, how multilingual they are. Got to go up the Vernacular Railway. You've got to go up into the mountains. Got to get your photo taken with one of the trolls. And of course, how can you not mention Bergen without Grieg? If you love your classical music, then if there's a classical recital on board at the same time to tie in, I know we used to do it. It's a fantastic.
One of my favourite things to do, you don't have to do this, but one of my favourite things to do when you're going up and down the fjords, or if you ever get to Alaska, you can sit out on the open deck and enjoy a hot chocolate and a little bit of brandy in it. Oh, it's beautiful. This really is, going up and down the fjords, the scenery is amazing, and it really puts you in touch with nature. It's absolutely phenomenal. Then of course you get back to Southampton after another day at sea. This really is about savings once again. A best seller in the past. Savings, £420 off per person. The price had dropped to £7.49. It's now dropped again to £5.99. This is a new price reduction. And of course, if you do go on that 11th of July departure, $75 free on board spend. Call the guys, talk to the team. 0800 781 5458 is the number, and you can book this for deposit only. These are great prices, especially for these sorts of dates. Now, we're going to move on to my very first cruise line, actually. I spent 6 years working for Costa Cruises. Absolutely loved it. We called it cruising Italian style in those days. This is actually the Neo Romantica. It's an absolutely stunning ship. In fact, let's take an opportunity to look at Costa Cruises. Yeah, well, do you know what, Costa, it's one of the cruise lines that I'm not that familiar with, but it's short time of looking at it, wow, I want to go on one of these ships. On the actual Romantica itself, they've got a wine and cheese bar, and for me, straight away, you know, if you do enjoy that indulgence, then that's great. If wine and cheese is not your thing, how about coffee and chocolate? There's a coffee and chocolate bar on board. Now, she's a slightly smaller ship, but she's been recently refitted, and the decor is modern. It is absolutely exquisite. It's unlike anything you're probably likely to find on land, and you can see the food there and the cuisine. Like you were saying, you know, it's cruising Italian style. Yeah. There's the wine and cheese bar that I was talking to you about earlier on. If you do like that quality, then I don't think you're going to be disappointed. The dining rooms, the actual, I mean, look at those lounges. It is absolute luxury. And as the name suggests, Romantica, I think it would be a great romantic break, especially where we're actually going. Yeah, it is absolutely stunning. Come on, what are the Italians known for? They're known for their style. You know, I think a lot of them are great flirts, and romance is certainly something that we think about. Wonderful line. I absolutely loved it there. And you can see just how beautiful that is. But although the ship is beautiful in itself, it isn't just about the ship. This particular cruise really is about the itinerary, especially with the overnights and the seashells, overnights in Mauritius. So let's take the opportunity right now to see where you're going to get to visit. And like we're saying, we're talking about destinations there. It's a go-to destination to relax and chill out. Look at that. Beautiful. You are going to be in that tranquility, the waterfalls, the green lush forest that you've got, and then of course you've got the pure white sand beaches as well. Half the postcards and all the adverts that you see on TV, they're probably going to be shot in and around Mauritius or the Seychelles, and that's the great thing. You are doing both of these. Rich culture, a lot of French history, and very much, if you've been to the Caribbean and been to Grenada, of course Grenada is famous for its spices, Mauritius is also. It's a real clash of cultures. So that's the great thing. It's not one port, it's many in one. Now, after your first day in Mauritius, you're going to have 2 relaxing days at sea. Nice. And, you know, look at where you're going to be. It's going to be great weather. And you're just going to be able to enjoy and soak up the local atmosphere. And, you know, keep an eye out over the actual side of the ship. You'll see
amazing wildlife and creatures, dolphins, the turtles. Then, after the 2 days at sea, where you can make the most of the spa facilities, get involved with some of the onboard activities, then it's going to be the Seychelles. Now, this is where you have the overnight on board.
Yeah, so you go back to the hotel, the ship, at night.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So you've got that benefit that, you know, you're not having to unpack, you're not having to go to decamp to another hotel. It's all there, all air-conditioned. It's that luxury that you quite literally rock up to one of the greatest destinations on the planet and enjoy. Overnights are really good as well, because if you want to stay on board and enjoy the entertainment, you can do. If you want to go ashore and be a little bit more adventurous, then you can do as well. Now, daytime-wise, it is fantastic for those of you that like going out and seeing the flowers and the fauna, because it really is one of those unique areas of the world. Then you're going to be off to Madagascar. Now, this is the island of perfume. I was saying to you about the spices earlier on. There's a market there, the Hellville market, where it is just going to be, you're going to be intoxicated by spices. It is just there's going to be spices that you probably never tasted, never experienced. The smells and the culture, and remember, of course, it's got a rich trading history as well. Now, from Madagascar, you were going on to Diego Suarez. Now, this is one of the largest bays, natural bays, in the world. This is 156 kilometres, that's 97 miles long. So if you do like your outdoor activities, snorkeling, scuba diving, got to be a go-to point. And, of course, rich French history. The actual town itself is on a military grid-style system, so it's really easy to find your way around. Another relaxing day at sea, nice thing to break it up, because you've got all of these adventures, and then another nice day on board the ship itself. Into Tomasina, again, Madagascar. This has got a real rich colonial history. You can see here some of the forts, some of the castles. If you do like your history, you like, you know, if you want to visit one of these sites, you've got to go there. Don't go all the way to Madagascar without going to these places. And of course,
that's just the other thing we expect, because we've all seen the cartoon movie.
Yeah,
so we're thinking of all the wildlife that's in Madagascar.
I know. Just watch if you've got any fruit. They'll have it. From Tomasina, another relaxing day at sea. And this is the great thing about this itinerary. You've got port, you've got sea day, you've got port, you've got sea day. Then you're into the biggie. It's great that you're actually going to this place. I never actually got a chance to go there. It's known as the Paris of the Indian Ocean. This is Reunion Island. St. Denis is the actual capital itself. A real multicultural history. You can see there the mountains and the piton that they've actually got there. It really is one of those epic landscapes where you've got green lush forests, mountains, and then sandy white beaches. I mean, you can't...
Well, that's
that is the Seychelles, it is Madagascar.
This is a bucket list trip, there's no doubt about it.
Then you're going to be coming back into Mauritius, into Port Louis. Now, this is where you have your final overnight on board. Again, another great opportunity, adventure into Port Louis at night time. You know, you don't usually see these on cruises. You're in for the day and then you're out. If not, stay on board the ship. There's going to be great entertainment on board and nice and safe and secure as well. But, you know, overall, this 16 nights, Mauritius,
well,
Seychelles.
At the end of the trip, if you wanted to, you know, if you think, oh, I love it here, I don't want to go home yet, you can actually add an all-inclusive in Mauritius. 5 nights, all-inclusive, for £499 per person.
That is
so again,
great value, isn't it?
This is a great thing about Planet's Cruise. Don't just think of it as a package holiday. This is just the bare bones of the holiday, and they can build it, they can make it bespoke to your needs. So we're talking here 22nd of January 2016, so, you know, get that for a deposit only, talk to the guys and start planning ahead. Return flights from Gatwick, we can provide flights from other airports too. That means you can stay overnight if you wanted to before you go. And then you've got 2 overnights on board in the Seychelles, and you've got the overnight in Mauritius, and of course we can add on those 5 nights as well in Mauritius for £499. If you are writing down the ID numbers, because you might want to go to the website, this one is ID 95666. There is an ID number for each cruise. Makes it easy for you when you go to the website, or of course you can even offer that to the agent when you get through on the phone. Let me share with you how you can get in touch with Planet Cruise and how you can follow their deals, because there are plenty of them. They're changing all the time, and you've seen today some of the prices dropping time and time again. 0800 781 5458 is your phone number. planetcruise.co.uk is the website. But you sign up for the newsletter. Let them remind you. Let them tell you about the hot deals that are available. Give them a call. Ask for the free copy copy of the Journey brochure, so you can look through and start planning a cruise for later this year or next year. And of course, go to their website. By the way, their website is new, it is updated, plenty of video on there as well. And I think video is so important because you can see the ports of call, you can see the shows that we're showing you right here on Ideal World, and of course you can see the ships themselves. Well, that was the third cruise. We're about to move on to our fourth cruise right now. In fact, it's my sister's favourite line, and she worked on cruise ships herself for many years as a dancer. This is Celebrity Cruises. Now, we had Keith fly out so he could show us around it. Let's take a moment to see that right now.
With exceptional levels of service and a crew-to-guest ratio of 1 to 2, and well-designed and easy-to-navigate ships, and a decor that's both sophisticated and contemporary, this is a cruise line who offer a very real sense of modern luxury. Celebrity Cruises have always pushed the boat out when it comes to dining, not just in the sheer choice, but also the quality of the food that they offer. Experience saver menus pairing classic and contemporary selections from casual al fresco dining through to the stunning main dining room. And of course, there's an appetizing range of quirky, excellent specialty restaurants. Matching a bar to your mood is what Celebrity does best. And there's a great range of beverage and wine packages offering great value. You can top up the tan while enjoying a margarita by the pool, or use your Sea Pass card and help yourself to another great glass of vino in Cellar Masters. You can soak up the sounds of the big band in the Passport Bar, or try one of the 64 craft beers available on board. My favourite, though, has to be here at the Molecular Bar, where tasting the work of the liquid chef will engage all your senses. Life on board Celebrity Cruises is an opportunity for you to enjoy your holiday just as you want it. From relaxing by the pool with a good book to a whole host of exhilarating and unique experiences, the choice really is yours. Cooking competitions, mixology classes, dance and language classes, informative lectures, and behind-the-scenes access to the inner workings of a modern-day cruise ship. When the sun sets, Celebrity ships come alive with a dazzling selection of bars, lounges, nightclubs and casinos. You can relax with a cocktail, meet new friends, take to the dance floor or hit the casino tables. But keep an eye out for the interactive theme parties. You may even find dancers in exquisite costumes suddenly appear to entertain you. There's West End style theatre shows, dance, comedy, magic, music and an extraordinary front row seat waiting just for you. On a Celebrity cruise, luxury comes as standard. There are 6 different varieties to choose from and over 85% have a private balcony. The design is smart, fresh and contemporary, and all offer a great range of sumptuous amenities such as fluffy bathrobes, deluxe toiletries, Egyptian cotton bed linen and 24-hour complimentary room service. From comfortable inside staterooms to these gorgeous suites which feature floor-to-ceiling windows, panoramic balconies and your very own private butler. Trust me, once you've unpacked, you won't ever want to leave.
That was the ship, the line themselves, but this itinerary, I was lucky enough to do something like this for 2 years. I absolutely recommend it to anyone. Come on, let's take an opportunity to see where we get to go. I think we fly to Istanbul first, don't we? Yeah,
first of all, you're starting off with a 5-star hotel in Istanbul, and just a great way to acclimatise as well. Of course, Istanbul, rich cultural history, and of course you've got to go to the market, you've got to go to the square, have a little bit of a barter down there because there's some fantastic stuff that you can bring back. Just wonderful sightseeing as well. If you do like your mosques, if you do like your history, then it is going to be rich in Constantinople. Of course, you've got such a clash of all of the cultures because of all the Roman and the Byzantine and the Ottoman empires that have been in there. So really, really rich place. Then we're going to be heading off from Istanbul off to Mykonos. Now, just while we were watching Keith there, we were talking about Mykonos. What a place to be. Yeah. This is quintessential postcard Greece, because you've got those whitewashed walls, you've got the beautiful tiles on the roof, and if you recognise the windmill there, if you like your film locations, the Bourne Identity actually finishes up on this actual island. Wow. My other half's been to Mykonos. She absolutely loves it there because it's very safe.
That's little Venice. That's worth going there for dinner.
Yeah,
really
it's so cute, but you're not going to feel lost there. You know, there's plenty of things to explore, and like we said, you know, if you want a touch of Greece, the Greece experience, you've got to go and dine out in Mykonos. Look at that.
And of course, the beauty of this too is that you're overnighting, but you don't have to unpack, as you said earlier, and go into a hotel. You overnight, and when you're ready, you go back to the ship. The ship is your hotel. up against the pier. It's a brilliant idea.
Well, and the great thing is it's all so close that you don't have to worry about getting taxis and everything.
Where do we go to next?
We're off to Valletta in Malta, and completely different now. This is actually one of my first ports. I remember sitting on the back of the ship having breakfast and just seeing all the sandstone walls.
Yeah.
You know, this is a fortress port that you've got there. One of the highlights is St John's Co-Cathedral. You've got to go there, and of course this is where the graves of the Knights of Malta are actually all over the floor. It's one of the most beautiful floors. If you haven't been there, you've got to go to see that. You've also got a couple of very famous paintings in the Cathedral Museum by Michelangelo. So if you do like your art, then that's definitely one place to go. From Valletta in Malta, we're going to be heading off to Sicily. Now this, I mean, going from Valletta into the foothills of one of the only active volcanoes in Europe, Mount Etna. And of course you can see, I mean, wonderful views that you've got there. And if you do want to head up into the hillsides, then you've got to go there. The Baroque architecture is brilliant. You've got a lot of medieval influences as well, and of course the Roman Empire as well. Remember the Med, it is just that melting pot of historical culture. Now, one thing you've got to do as well is you've got to soak up the food, because the food in Italy is fantastic. I know we've got Italian restaurants here in the UK, but when you go over there and you taste those rich tomatoes and the mozzarella, the actual, you know, proper quality balsamic vinegar and oil, it is transformed, and doing it in Italy as well. Now, staying with Italy, we're going to go to the Amalfi Coast, and, well, what can I say? This was a holiday destination of the 1920s and 1930s for the British aristocracy. This is absolutely amazing. You can't go here without experiencing lemons. And when I say lemons, they look like the size of your head. This is lemon country, and of course limoncello as well.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of you. If you do like a tipple, you know, you must know limoncello. This is the birthplace of it, and you've got to have one of those.
It's like a liqueur, only have a little bit of it.
Yeah,
maybe after
definitely.
your dinner, something like that. It's wonderful.
But yeah, just a wonderful way to actually finish off, and well, sorry, not finish off, but head into Rome, Civitavecchia. We mentioned this earlier on. Of course, Rome, you've got the Vatican City, you've got the Colosseum, and of course the Trevi Fountain as well. So what a wonderful way to finish off.
Well, let's talk about what a brilliant deal this is, because we've told you on other cruises a saving of £350. We said £420 off. This one is all about price, price, price. Celebrity, fabulous, fabulous cruise line, and get this, £550 off, and that's including an overnight in Mykonos and an overnight in Istanbul. If you go for the 18th of July cruise, you'll get a free upgrade from Ocean View to balcony. There's also $300 of onboard spend when you go Ocean View or above, and in fact, if you go Ocean View or above, you'll even get a free case of wine. 6 bottles of wine, and your gratuities will be included. You can see some of the great deals and the information shared with you right there. Don't miss out on this. Now, all those flights are from Heathrow, plus your overseas transfers. If you do want to fly from a different airport or fly down to London, stay overnight, talk to the team. There's your number at the bottom of the screen, 0800 781 5458, and talk to them. They can make this holiday bespoke to you. They can make it fit your needs. And here's some examples of what you can do with that onboard spend. You know, food, wine, you can go for the Explorer run if you want to. It's a brilliant opportunity. Do not miss out on this. It's a great, great trip. Let's just show you some of the availabilities on this. We're talking June and July, so we're talking a summer holiday here, and it is so affordable from £879. And again, you can see it at the bottom of the screen. Your gratuities are included. Now, our next line is Royal Caribbean, and I'm very glad today to say that we've actually got somebody from, not Planet Cruise, but from Royal Caribbean themselves. So let me introduce you to Stephen Joyner. Let me say hi to you, Stephen.
Morning.
Thanks for having me on today. Before we do anything, let's talk about Royal Caribbean themselves. Why should anyone watching right now consider Royal Caribbean?
Royal Caribbean is an incredible cruise line. We have some amazing itineraries of where we travel to, but it's not just about those destinations that we travel to, it's more about the unique experiences that we offer on board for our passengers.
What sort of things can we expect on board the ship?
We've got some incredible firsts at sea. We are leading in technology and innovations as well. So we've got things like ice skating, roller skating, the rock climbing wall, some of the feature signatures that we have already on some of our ships already, but with our new Quantum class ships, we take that boundary to the next level with iFly by Ripcord, a skydiving simulator as well as like your
Let's take a moment to look at one of the ships, and maybe you can talk us around it and tell us exactly what we're seeing, because there's a lot to see on these beautiful
It's a huge
lines.
amount.
Let me just, that's the destination. What I would like to do right now is show you the Explorer of the Seas itself. So let's take a moment. We're going to reload the video and play you one about because I like to talk about the ship first, so we know what our hotel is going to be. And ultimately, you've already heard we've got some cutting-edge technology on these ships. One of the new ones, hasn't it got a thing called the Northern Star, where you actually...
The North Star, absolutely, yes. On our Quantum-class ships, we've got actually Anthem coming in next week, which we're really, really excited about. But yes, you're right, the North Star, it elevates you 300 foot above sea level.
It takes you out over the ocean.
It gives you a completely different perspective of the ship and also your surroundings.
Unbelievable.
It is truly incredible.
Come on, that video's ready now. Let's have a look at the Explorer. Tell us what we're looking at, Stephen.
Okay, this is Explorer of the Seas. Here's the rock climbing wall. It's something completely different that you'll ever experience at sea, going up on the rock climbing wall. We've got our signature ice skating rink.
Wow.
Mini golf.
I would say it's not mini, that's pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
Mini golf to me, you'd think a tiny little area.
Well, Explorer of the Seas is literally, as we're talking now, going through an enhancement programme of our multi-million-dollar enhancement programme.
Right.
And she'll have some new features that you might have seen on some of our other ships as well.
Looks amazing.
Amazing cuisine. You've got Johnny Rockets also on board, which are really juicy, thick burgers, which you have to try.
Now, I think you were telling me earlier you're about to join this ship. You're going to be going.
I am on the 23rd, yeah. When she comes out of her revitalisation, she'll have some new features like the Flow Rider putting on her. You can see there as well. Before you've got the Casino Royale, and you've got the Royal Promenade as well, which is an incredible heart and soul of the ship.
I should share with you at
Incredible
home,
entertainment as well.
We've got exclusive price reductions on this particular cruise. Exclusive price reductions, and in fact, we've only got. Well, I've been told we've got less than 50 cabins remaining now. We've got less than 50 cabins remaining. So if you would like one of these exclusive price reductions, you've got to call that number at the bottom of the screen. We often say limited availability. We've got less than 50 cabins remaining on this particular deal, so take advantage of it. And again, talk to the team, find out more information. If there's anything we don't cover off, then take the opportunity to call the guys and ask them those questions. Let's take a moment to see where we go. Justin, maybe you want to talk us through the itinerary, because ultimately we want to know where we're going.
Yeah, well, one of the first things is, of course, it's a Southampton departure, so it's great for those of you that don't like your fly cruising. You're going to have 2 great relaxing days at sea. As Stephen was saying earlier on, Royal Caribbean, it's all about their ships. You know, everybody's always said about, you know, the Royal Promenade and all the shops that you've got on board. It really is an experience. You cannot believe that you're actually on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. First actual port of call, though, is Gibraltar, and this is an absolute classic.
The Rock.
You've got to go up the Rock.
Yeah.
Just go careful with the monkeys. It's brilliant to see them, but they are they'll have anything that's in your hand, it's gone. Of course, one thing as well, I never got to do the actual underground labyrinth of tunnels.
Yeah.
They're actually built in there by the British. You've got to go there and check that out. Of course, great stopping off point for duty free. There he is. I think I might be related. He's got more hair than me. Yeah, Gibraltar, an absolute great way to sort of, you know, just ease you into this wonderful itinerary. From Gibraltar, you're going to go to Malaga.
Love Malaga. Absolutely.
Tapas.
Yeah.
It is one of the best places for tapas. Of course, you've got the Alcazaba Fort, which is just up on the hillside. It's actually the largest city on the Costa del Sol. Again, the Mediterranean, we've been talking about how, you know, rich cultural history. It's been ruled by several different empires, so you've got a real clash of architecture and culture. Real great way to discover the true Med. Then from Malaga, you're going to have a nice relaxing day at sea. And again, it's nice to, you know, have a couple of days in port and then just have chill out. You know, even if you go to a destination, you know, you have your days where you have a busy day, you have a quiet day.
This next port is really nice, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say that. Well, we actually touched on this earlier on. We were saying that when you're in Monte Carlo, you've got to go to Nice. Well, you go into Nice. Now, again, this has got a real great history with sort of 1920s and 1930s. It's the heyday. It's the place to be seen. You've got, of course, the rich film history with the Cannes Film Festival just down the road. One thing in Nice is you've got these beautiful beaches and fantastic sort of swanky restaurants on the beachfront, and then you go into the town and you've got these lovely cobbled streets.
Yeah.
And some of the shops that you got down there, it's not your high street brands. It's real stuff that you want to be able to take home. Anyway, I could go on and on about this. I really do like it.
It's hard though, isn't it? I don't know how you keep it to such a short amount of information.
Well, the thing is, at least you've got 14 nights to enjoy it by.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going into Ajaccio. This is a birthplace of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah.
Does have other highlights though, and of course Corsica is again fantastic for food. The weather's going to be great. Take a walk around the harbour. There's plenty to do. It's quite a rugged landscape, so if you do want to head up into the mountains, then you can do. But from Ajaccio, we're on to Sardinia.
Do you know, we've never cruised to Sardinia. My wife and I, we've both on ships for years. So I did 18 years at sea. So we went here for a honeymoon.
And what did you think?
Oh my goodness, beautiful. Absolutely loved it. Recommend it in a heartbeat.
It is one of those places that you can get lost but still feel comfortable. Those winding streets, and then you just open out onto a view like this.
Yeah.
Again,
it's like Italy in the Caribbean.
Well, I was just going to mention the
like.
Caribbean colour of the oceans and the sea there. With Sardinia, you've actually got to go to Il Castillo, which is a neighbourhood which overlooks the actual town itself. And this is sort of the medieval heart of the actual town itself. It really is the Sicilian side of life. Anyway, from Sardinia, we're coming into it's a classic port.
Palma.
It's Palma,
Yeah.
and of course with this you've got an overnight on board as well. One thing you've got to try here is the food. If you love prawns, if you like garlic, there's a hot garlic prawn dish that they serve up in these lovely little clay pots just behind the actual cathedral itself. Of course, the cathedral, you know, it's instantly recognisable is Parma, so you've got to go there and try that. Now, there's one other delicacy as well.
We're just going to have a quick look at Parma here, so we can actually see how gorgeous it is.
It's lovely coastlines. Actually, if you take a taxi up the west coast, there's some lovely little harbours and bays that you can find a quiet restaurant around there.
You see, you would think you're in the Caribbean. I bet if we didn't tell you that was the Med, you just presume that's the Caribbean.
Great beach location without having to go all that way.
Phenomenal. And you don't have to run around as quickly as these people are. Take it easy. That's what it's all about. The Mediterranean lifestyle is very, very relaxed. Sit back, have a glass of wine, enjoy a sunset. That's what this is all about.
I tell you, if you want to take a really nice relaxing time, there's a vintage electric railway that you can actually go on up into the mountains. So, perhaps if you love engineering, perhaps if that's an interest of yours, but just imagine just taking that in. You know, nice little journey. Anyway, on from Parma, we're going to go on to Seville, of course. Oranges, fantastic. This is the heart place, or the birthplace of flamenco, bullfighting, and the fiesta. This is a way of life. You know, this is quintessential. You can't get more Spanish than Seville. One thing you've got to go to is the old part of the city, to the Giralda Tower, and this was actually built in 1248 by the Moorish conquerors. And again, it just goes to show the rich history and the influence from all these different empires.
And then, of course, another couple of days at sea to enjoy Explorer of the Seas, which we've got to see at the start of the show. Don't forget, this is Southampton to Southampton, so you can take all the luggage you want. These are exclusive price reductions to Planet Cruise, so take advantage of it. You've got free up to $200 on board spend per stateroom. You do, if you want that free $200 on board spend, you do need to book by Monday. Okay, the 13th is on Monday. Free car parking at Southampton. If you wanted to, say coming from up north or flying down, you might decide to have a night at the Mere Valley Marriott in Southampton, and that's £75 per person per night, but that will include your breakfast as well as the hotel and your parking, and you get transferred to and fro as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Stephen, thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate it. If you could encapsulate the line in just a sentence or two, what would you say about Royal Caribbean?
There is literally a cruise and a destination for anyone, whether you're families or whether you're a couple. There's an incredible experience waiting for you on a Royal Caribbean ship. There's so many activities to do, amazing cuisine, and the entertainment is out of this world. It really is phenomenal.
Great.
So,
hey, let's say thanks to you. I really appreciate you coming in
Thank
today.
you very much.
Now, another thing you might want to consider is excursions. You can always buy those on board. You can buy them in advance as well, which makes your life even easier. And if you buy them in advance, that can save you up to 60% of the onboard price, which is really handy. Price match guarantee as well. Short excursion packages are available. It's really worth considering. And again, talk to the team. 0800 751 5458, and they can take care of that for you. Now, we're about to move on to our next cruise, which is, without a doubt, a bucket list cruise. I was lucky enough to do 60-day circumnavigations of South America. You're going to get the opportunity to go right around the bottom. And this cruise line is phenomenal. This is Holland, America. I think you're going to absolutely love them. Now, you're going to get such a great cruise here. Let's take a moment to see the ship itself.
Amidst the huge choice that's now available within cruising, Holland America Line offers an experience that's quite unique. It's premium class, but not pretentious. It's elite without being expensive. And with a proud history stretching back over 140 years, Holland America Line is perfect for the discerning traveller who loves to see the world from the comfort of an elegant hotel at sea. Known for the most extensive menus at sea, served gracefully in elegant restaurants. Thank you.
Bon appetit.
Holland America Line offer a plethora of excellent dining options. In the main dining rooms, guests may choose from fixed or flexible dining times, and the service is always gracious and the menu both varied and delicious. Fans of Italian food will salivate at the offerings from Canaletto's, and everyone will enjoy the steak and seafood of the wonderful Pinnacle Grill. Enjoying a few drinks in the company of friends both old and new is one of the highlights of any cruise. For some, it might be a glass of bubbly or a tasty martini in mix, whilst for others, a pre-show tipple in the ocean bar will be just what the doctor ordered. Whichever location you choose, expert bartenders will remember your preferred cocktail, or they'll help you discover a new favourite. Holland America's latest trump card is On Location, which brings the ports you visit alive through regionally inspired cookery classes, artisan workshops and local entertainment. You can experience steel drum lessons in the Caribbean, or Tai Chi classes in Asia, or the legendary ketchup dance in Bali. The evenings on board glitter with so many choices, with live music, thrilling stage shows and the ever-popular Dancing with the Stars at Sea programme. Bored? Not a chance. It's about getting the little things right, and nowhere is this more obvious than the accommodation. All Holland America Line staterooms have premium plush Eurotop mattresses, 100% Egyptian cotton bed linens, extra fluffy towels and deluxe terry bathrobes. Recent additions include innovative massage shower heads, lighted magnifying makeup mirrors and stylish hair dryers. And of course, your complimentary fruit basket.
I love Holland America. Says I went as a real holiday with my wife Helen, and it's, for our experience, the best food we ever had in all those years of sailing. Now, you're going to fly out to Santiago, which is a wonderful destination. You get a couple of nights there. Yeah,
do you know, one of my best memories on the cruise lines is actually in Santiago. You know, if you're adventurous, go out into these little places. You never know what's going to happen. Of course, the views are fantastic with the Andes behind you, so if you do want to go up in one of the cable cars, it is quite a hub of business, but there is that nice balance that you have got, you know, plenty to see and plenty to do. Some of the real rustic bars are the best as well, especially with the overnight. Try and find local live music. We managed to find the quietest bar, and out the back they had almost like this speakeasy door. There was a 12-piece salsa band. Absolutely amazing. Go and adventure. You've got to do this. Now, of course, once you've had 2 days to acclimatise and really get into your holiday mode, then you're going to transfer from Valparaiso onto the ship, and the ship is superb. You saw it there with Keith. If you do like music, there's a musical thing that runs throughout the ship. They've got this lovely Baroque organ in the atrium, and I believe they've actually still got Bill Clinton's saxophone on board. There's all this memorabilia about, so if you like music, you're going to love the ship. You're going to start off with a nice relaxing day at sea on board Zaandam, and you know, it's just a great way to really ease your way into this 14 nights. Now, the first port is a real gateway to the lake district of Chile, and the snow-capped volcanoes that you can see there are just superb. One thing that is such a contrast is the fact that you go in somewhere that's so warm, and then you've got glaciers as well, so you can see how blue that water is. We talked about Norway earlier on. If you like the fjords, if you like Alaska, then this is definitely got to be on your list of must-do.
I used to call this Alaska of the South, because obviously you go to North America, you can make your way up into Alaska, you see all the fjords, and it's amazing. This is the same thing on the southern side of the planet, the southern hemisphere. Just phenomenal. Where do we go to next?
Well, we're going to go from Porto Montt on to Porto Chabaco, and this brilliant for outdoor activities. You've got whitewater rafting, plenty of water sports there, and some nice horse riding as well. So again, it's just really enjoying the fringes of the Patagonia, and if you've done the Caribbean, if you've done the Mediterranean, this is unlike anything that you've seen before. Now, On to the next day. It's actually a day at sea, and the actual canal that you're going to be going through.
You sail up and down the fjords as well.
Oh, well, this is where, I don't know, we used to stop and actually bring on board some of the floating ice.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about icebergs ahead or anything like that. We're not talking massive icebergs, we're talking lumps of ice, and it just is so contrasting. It is crisp. Make sure that you got a nice range of clothing, because it can be quite cold down there, especially as you go further south. Now, we're going to go straight into, or when I say straight, into the Straits and Punta Arenas. You've got to go and see the penguin colony here, because it's one thing seeing penguins in a zoo. This is in their natural habitat, and they're funny little creatures. Absolutely brilliant. Now, apart from the penguin colony, you can see that the actual landscape, it's volcanic, so it really is something that's quite Martian. So you see the hillsides there and the mountains. It's unlike anything you're probably going to see before. Only about 150,000 people actually live in Punta Arenas, and you're only 850 miles from the South Antarctica as well.
Then we're going on to the next port. I've got a wonderful photograph of this place, Ushuaia. It's the southernmost town, isn't it, on the tip of the peninsula. It's just amazing, and the sunset here, well, the photograph is purple. It's not a blue sky, it's purple. It's so beautiful.
It's one of those things that, you know, if you've got a bucket list that you've got to do, yes, you do your med cruising, yes, you do your caravan, you've got to do this once, because to say that you've gone this far south, and again then from Ushuaia, you're actually going to be cruising round Cape Horn. Now, both of us coming from the cruise industry, you know, it's a big celebration on board. I know there's the crossing the line ceremonies, but Cape Horn, to say that you've gone around Cape Horn, it's just amazing. And, you know, it is a wonderful day. Really is. Now, from Cape Horn, then you're going to come up to the Falkland Islands. Of course, you know, historically, if you're into your military, then it's going to be fantastic for you to visit these places. For those of you, though, that have never seen the Falkland Islands, it's quite bizarre. It's a bit like Gibraltar, I suppose. You turn up, you think, well, I'm in a different country, but it's actually a little bit of Britain there. We'll leave it there. We'll move on. And then we've got 2 relaxing days at sea. Now, one thing that I'm really looking forward to talking about is Buenos Aires, because after Montevideo, you've got Buenos Aires. Now, this is where you're going to spend 2 nights, and I'm glad that you got 2 nights. I only had 1 day to actually spend in Buenos Aires. There is so much to do. If you like dancing, you've got to go and see a tango show. You've got to go to see the Recoleta and see Eva Perón's grave. It sounds quite morbid, really, going to a cemetery to actually see it, but it's amazing. It's nothing like you've ever seen. Only in New Orleans I've ever seen anything else like it. And the actual site itself. One thing I recommend as well, get out into the country, go and see one of the gaucho shows, because they're really into their horse riding, and if you get a chance to have one of the gaucho barbecues, they know how to eat. It's meat. As long as you're a meat eater, you will love that over the sort of like a fire pit. Yeah,
if I remember rightly, they had like a traffic light system, and you put, if you didn't want any more meat, because they just keep bringing it and bringing it and bringing it, you put a red light out. And if you wanted more meat, you put a green light out, and they just keep coming with more and more meat until you switch it back to red. It's brilliant. And make sure you go see a tango show.
Yeah, like I said again, if you like dancing, then you've got to go and see it, because you see your tango on TV with Strictly and things like that. This is nothing like you'd expect. It is the real authentic thing.
This cruise is deposit only on all dates. Think about this, an incredible bucket list cruise for under £100 per person per night. If you go for the 19th of November trip, you can get up to $875 of onboard spend. Can you imagine that? $875 given to you to spend on board. Other dates will be about $75, so really worth considering, and you can see the prices and the ranges that are available to you. October, November, December, and of course next year February and March. You've got plenty of time. These are deposit only, so don't think, oh, I've got to get that money. No, deposit only. Just book it, plan it, and start getting ready for that trip. Now, that was the 6th of the cruises that we've got for you on this particular show. Let's take the opportunity right now to recap. I know there's a lot of information to share with you. We started off with Justin's Cruise Line. He was there for 6 years. This is P&O, synonymous with cruising with the Brits. £449 per person. Dates available in April through to October. Again, you can pre-register, so call the team. The number's there at the bottom. Write down that phone number, 0800 781 5458, and call the guys. So that was the first cruise that we talked about, and that would take you to Italy, Greece, and Monte Carlo. And then we moved on to our second trip, and that second trip, of course, was with our Princess. A brilliant, brilliant opportunity to enjoy 7 nights in the Norwegian Fjords. Again, you got free $75 onboard spend. These are newly reduced prices. They'd already taken them down to £749. It's gone down again another £150 in your pocket. $599 is your starting price here. That's a £420 saving compared to the brochure. So you really are onto a complete and utter winner. Then we went on to Costa Cruises. Again, a brilliant trip. This is a bucket list cruise. Why? Because we're talking the Seychelles, Madagascar and Mauritius, and this is the new Costa Romantica. Just a phenomenal opportunity. Don't forget, you got overnights on this one, 2 nights in the Seychelles and an overnight in Mauritius, and of course you can stay an additional 5 days in Mauritius if you want to for £499. And then we took you onto Celebrity Cruises. This is the cruise with the overnight in Istanbul and the overnight in Mykonos. You're going to see Greece, Malta and Sicily in total. A brilliant trip, an 8-night cruise. Free upgrade from ocean view to balcony. So if you keep thinking, why should I go Planet Cruise? This is one of the extras that you can expect from them. $300 free onboard spend as well. Then we went to Royal Caribbean. Stephen was kind enough to pop in and have a chat with us and take us around the Explorer of the Seas. The great thing about this too is it's Southampton to Southampton, so you go for 14 nights. You can take all the luggage you want. You can dress up as much. Come on, 14 nights from £989 per person. That is a brilliant, brilliant deal. And then of course we ended with Holland, America, and this is a phenomenal opportunity to get to see South America, and not just South America but the fjords of South America all the way around the Cape. A phenomenal trip. And don't forget, if you go on that trip 19th of November, you can get up to $875 of free onboard spend. Call the team. If you can't remember all the information we shared with you, if we haven't answered a question you've got, if you want to fly from a different port, 0800 781 5458. You can tweet Planet Cruise. You can go to Facebook with Planet Cruise. You can follow them on YouTube. I recommend YouTube because you can see videos of the ships and the ports of call. And of course you can email them hello@planetcruise.co.uk. Write down the phone number, 0800. Don't miss out, and it's a brilliant, brilliant deal, 781 5458. And of course, go to their website, planetcruise.co.uk. Justin, really appreciate you coming in today.
Been great to be here.
Enjoyed it. I'm sorry we rushed. There's so much to share with you. Go to the website,